So on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about here today. Okay, so we have a little statement here, a little post that was made by PlayStation, and let's go over it because there's a couple interesting things here. We have after the sales of the PlayStation 5 failed to meet expectations, Sony has said the console is entering the latter stage of its life cycle. So I don't really know what does it mean by like, oh, it's failed to meet its thing here. But let's go through and read this article here. This is a small article. It's a short one. Let's go ahead and read it and see what we got. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, PlayStation. Yeah, exactly. That's my PlayStation. Okay, here we go. After sales of the PlayStation 5 failed to meet expectations, Sony has said the console is entering the latter stage of its life cycle. Sony had set an ambitious target of 25 million PS5s sold during the current financial year, ending March 31st, 2025, but has now revised its forecast down to 21 million after PS5 sales during the crucial holiday 2023 quarter came in lower than expected despite aggressive promotions. Sony sold 8.2 million PS5s during the third quarter ending December 31st, 2023, up from 7.1 million sold during the same quarter the previous year. But that was not enough to hit Sony's lofty target. According to Bloomberg, Sony's senior vice president, Naomi Matsuoka, said the company now expects the sales pace of the PS5 to start falling from the next fiscal year, which begins April 2024. 51% viewership on Kick, and runs until the end of March 2025. Looking ahead, PS5 will enter the latter stage of its life cycle. Matsuoka is quoted as saying, as such, we will put more emphasis on the balance between profitability and sales. For this reason, we expect the annual sales pace of the PS5 hardware will start falling from the next fiscal year. So the PS5 launched November 2020 during the height of the pandemic and has now sold 54.7 million in just over 3 years. Holy yeah. This November, the console turns 4 years old, and with Sony now saying it is entering the second half of its life cycle, thoughts will inevitably turn to the next generation and the PS6. One game that may be set for the PS6 as a launch title is Hideo Kojima's return to the action espionage genre, Ficent. Kojima has said that work on the game is expected to begin in earnest at Kojima Productions after Death Stranding 2 and in partnership with Sony. Death Stranding 2 has a 2025 release window, and based on Sony's latest comments, probably won't come out before April 2025. Ficent won't then be expected until 2026 at the earliest, possibly 2027 or 2028. The PS4 came out in November 2013, and the PS5 came out 7 years later in November of 2020. If this pattern repeats itself, the PS6 will come out November 2027. Okay, so that brings us on to this next little image here. And this is the release dates of their consoles. The PlayStation 1 came out in 1994, followed by 6 years later, the PlayStation 2 coming out in 2000, followed by the PlayStation 3 in 2006, followed by, again, the PlayStation 4 in 2013, and then followed by the PlayStation 5 in 2020. And if you take a look at the dates here, the difference is you have, again, that's very loud. You have a very loud, PlayStation startup sound here. 6 years, 6 year difference between the PlayStation 1 and 2, 6 years between the 2 and 3, 7 years between the 3 and 4, and 7 years between the 4 and 5, meaning that if they stay on track with this, we're looking at maybe 7 or 8 years between the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 6. We are in 2024, meaning that we could probably see it in 2027 or 2028, right? Bro, I need to take the blurps out. I'm pretty sure the blurps are in my VODs, but I might be wrong though. But anyways, so we're kind of expected to see that. Now, what's quite interesting is that it failed to meet their expectations. Now, let's be honest here, bro. I mean, bro, the Xbox, you know, somebody said I bought this 3 days ago. Okay. Um, let's be honest here. The Xbox is over there crying in the corner. You see Xbox back there in the corner of my room? Yeah, sitting back there crying because Xbox, there's no exclusives. There's barely any ever talk about the Xbox consoles. There's just nothing. The cons like Xbox is just dead, man. I mean, there's just nothing that goes on at all. It's wild, actually. It's genuinely wild. So them say thank you, thank you. Thank you. Them saying that, like, oh well, it performed less than that they expected, bro. Place it. Think about like, bro. Watch the Game Awards or something, right? Go watch the Game Awards, and guess what? 99% of the titles, the world premiere. This is a world premiere. Like 90% of that stuff is all PlayStation 5 exclusive. Like, bro, it's Xbox is over here with nothing, man. Nothing. It's wild. Game Pass, though, it does have Game Pass. That is right. Xbox does have Game Pass, which is really, really good. That is good, but I still don't think it's as big as the PlayStation. The PlayStation is just huge. I mean, Microsoft just recently said they're planning on not doing exclusives anymore. Right. Well, they don't really want to do exclusives anymore because probably it's too much money, right? They want to save money, and doing an exclusive title is just way too much money. So let PlayStation give out their stuff, and if somebody wants to be added on Xbox, they can do it, but they don't really have to. Like they would release Xbox exclusives on PlayStation and stuff and such. Achievement unlocked, annoy Yuppy with game startup sounds. That was actually one thing about Xbox, because I had an Xbox growing up. I did not do PlayStation. We had a PlayStation 1. But yeah, it's kind of like, dude, that was like one nostalgia thing, right? You're sitting there playing a game, or you get a message or something, and you just hear that Xbox sound effect. You hear that. Yeah, there you go. Perfect timing. You hear that sound effect. And it was just like, it's so nostalgic. It was like, oh, who's messaging me? Who's messaging me, or what achievement did I get? It was always really cool. Nowadays, there's nothing. Nothing. I mean, I'm on PC, but there's nothing. Just it isn't what it used to be, man. It just isn't.